Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Impractical Podcast, Episode 4. I'm your host for today, Fog, and these are my co hosts, Arlax and
Hello.
Lilith, also Brain. All right. Today we have two special guests, Dr. Pupu and Iku. Go ahead, introduce yourself first, Iku.
Um, Hi, I'm Jello, also known as Iku.
Right. Introduce yourself, Dr. Pupu.
I'm wanted in 3 states for manslaughter.
Okay. Um, our first topic for today. Okay, cut that. That.
No, we're not
Okay.
cutting that. We're not cutting that.
Our first topic for today, our first topic for today will be discussing about asteroids. And for this topic, we got our guest Iku or Jello to begin with. You may now speak, Iku.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to start talking about psyche now.
I'm gonna have to cut a big chunk.
Okay, continue.
Okay,
Did you?
so there's a project by NASA called Psyche, and it represents three things as far as I know. The cover story that they're using, which is an actual mission, is to a metal asteroid in between Mars and Jupiter. They're going to use like solar sails on the spacecraft to get to this asteroid named Psyche 16.
Okay.
Second part, Psyche refers to an actual person that I've been assigned to psychoanalyze. Her name is Naomi Sipe, and she is a national leader, so to speak. And she gives a lot of talks in German and English about politics and climate change. And also about kind of like, I don't know, finding the truth and not believing everything the media tells you. She has a catchphrase, which is basically like, I want you to think. She does YouTube videos and posts a lot on Twitter. So I just watch these videos and I read what she says and I try and figure out her mind essentially from those. But it would be cool if I could meet her in person. I think I would get more like conclusive results that way. Okay, and then the third thing that psyche has to do with is actually human brain to computer chip interface, which is essentially putting computers in the human brain so that we can connect to the internet without the use of a phone or a computer or headphones or a mouse or a keyboard. You could wirelessly access information and talk to people just using your head.
Sounds really interesting. A question on that: how would that affect like the human brain if it's connected, like in a computer? How would that even work?
Um, I think it would make the brain faster in terms of data analysis and comprehension. All of the digital signals are converted into electric impulses, which are readable by the brain, and vice versa. All of the analog signals, which is just electricity, are recorded and converted into digital data, which is processed by the computer, and then
And then,
well, you can do whatever you want with a computer, essentially, just by thinking the control rather than having to act it out with an extended limb. So I think it saves time in a way.
so does this kind of seems similar to an anime that I started watching a few days ago? It's called Serial Experimental Lane. Does it work like that? Is it gonna work like that?
Yeah, so the psyche chip in Serial Experiments Lane is essentially the same thing. Yeah, it's a computer that allows users to connect to the Wired, which is the anime's version of the internet, without a computer or anything. And in the anime, this is activated via Protocol 7, which allows humans to connect to the Wired without the use of a device via the Schumann resonances, which are about 7.9 hertz, and they surround the Earth. So this is a natural frequency that surrounds the Earth, and by tuning into that, you can get the information that way. And Nikola Tesla actually talked about a similar concept having to do with getting energy from radio waves. And he was talking about the Schumann resonances that surround the Earth. And you can use those as like a pit to send information through.
Wow.
Sounds like a lot to take in. So Charles, what do you think about this?
It's pretty interesting.
Like having our brains in a computer? Sounds pretty epic if you ask me, I don't know.
Definitely a huge step forward.
Yeah, I agree.
Does that mean that we can also do like anything in our brains like connected to, like we can go anywhere?
Yeah, so one of the things that it can provide is augmented reality. So essentially, you could see other people with modified visuals. If you wanted to see somebody else as looking like a cartoon character or like an animal, you could just configure the visual settings in your brain to modify the visual input data to produce the desired effect that you're looking for.
That sounds interesting. Like AR but with your own brain connected to the internet.
You could even like change the color of objects. Like if you wanted to see the sky as red instead of blue, you could do that.
Like modify what you're looking at in real time?
Yeah, so it gives power to the user with this computer in their brain to see reality and interact with reality exactly how they want it to be.
And we're going to be seeing this technology soon, or no?
Yes, a real company that is doing this is called Neuralink. They want to put these little chips in the brain. Basically, you drill a hole in the skull and you insert the computer with these very, very tiny wires that don't interfere with any of the blood vessels. It causes like no bleeding.
Sounds
And
like a bad idea.
it connects to the internet. But yeah, one of the concerns is hacking.
Yeah.
And like everybody with a chip becoming like a mind controlled zombie. But Neuralink is like an ethical company. They wouldn't do that. Also, people can be mind controlled as is, you know, just with like.
That is true.
With regular news and stuff. I guess, yeah.
With the media generally.
Yeah, so also I recommend like believing in the power of your own brain. Be stronger than the technology rather than letting it control you. You control the technology. And some people, like in the case that there was an attack and every computer got hacked, some people would have to fight to gain control over their brain again. But the brain is more powerful than like any computer that exists, you know?
It is true.
Not really, but alright.
Wait, Charles.
No. That's actually true. Like, speed of the human brain is actually amazing when you really look at the neural system, shit like that. Like, information transmitting. Like, when you read something, you're reading like at that moment. Like, you read a sentence like just once, then close your eyes. Most people are going to be able to read out the sentence again because you're retaining information pretty much instantaneously. Like, that's how powerful the brain really is. In my opinion, at least. I mean, I don't know.
Also, the brain is like really huge and you can do like so many things that haven't been discovered yet. So finding ways to like use the brain and a computer combined at the same time, it sounds really interesting. It's like
Yeah,
Honestly,
like-
when you think about it technically, like the human brain is what caused computers to even exist in the first place. Like somebody put that idea into effect that they just got randomly, I guess. I don't know. So, I
Yeah,
mean, in my opinion, the human brain is much more powerful than any computer ever forged. As of right now, at least, technology is advancing very quickly. So,
I would say some human brains for sure, but not all.
Wait, would
in a way, that's true. It
would
varies. Like people with disorders, obviously, like brain disorders, things like that. Probably not, but it varies.
but what if they managed to actually do this? Would we become obsolete? Like the humans will become obsolete and the machines will actually rule?
Definitely.
I
I don't
do
think so.
not believe that. Think I
I think
honestly
that
believe that humans, like the way we program things, like there can be no error almost. Like there obviously can be errors in like certain programming, but to think that like if a robot or some is made, it would its own like mind or brain, it's almost literally impossible. Like it's not really very plausible to happen, in my opinion.
think about this programming benevolence. So you program the computer, which is a super artificial intelligence, to care about the humans. And, you know, as a human, if you see somebody who is less smart than you, the entirety of humanity is going forward in their knowledge and their progress. Well, it's the same thing with a computer. We're using computers to enhance our brain. And if you program into the computer to help us, it's going to be constantly trying to bring humanity to the next level of intelligence and ability.
Yeah.
Ah, pretty cool.
Sounds dangerous.
I mean, everything has its risks,
I mean,
but if we don't take those risks, we cannot like continue to advance as a human species. You
I
know?
mean, people are already worried about robots taking over the world. The fact that we're even thinking about putting ones that can control our brains into our heads is kind of crazy. But, you
I
know,
mean,
it's gonna be a huge step forward and possibly a huge step backwards at the same
when you
time.
really think about it, though, we are the ones programming those robots. So as long as there's no evil scientist or something that engineers this
I mean,
robot and takes over the world,
what would
like
be the actual, like,
they're
useful
good.
implications of this technology?
Um, I would say
You
like
have
believe it
access to
could help.
information faster, you make calculations faster, you can send messages and
That's what
voice calls
computers
to
are for.
people. No, but you see, computers take extra
But this is
time.
much better.
Yeah, it's so
So,
like think about telepathy. You could like instantly communicate to somebody without having to first make the call or send the text message, and the call is contingent upon your connection, and like you don't even have to
Yeah.
speak out loud, you just have to think it.
that just sounds like laziness to me because we already have phones that we can do that with in a matter of seconds.
But let's say you want to learn something, right? And you don't have
We're
your
just
What if
getting
you
keys.
want to?
lazier and lazier.
What if you want to transmit information to other places instantaneously? Like
I mean,
that
that's why you have
could
a
be
phone.
a very
That's why you
innovative
have
thing.
a phone. And if you want to augment
I
reality, we
mean, a
have
phone
AR
isn't
headsets.
instantaneous.
Like, have you guys seen Google Glass? That's been out for years.
I
But within
mean,
time,
It's
everything
doing
is
the same
obsolete.
thing.
It has to keep
Honestly, things like
improved.
connection can't be reliable all of the time. Like just generally, like even I have Wi-Fi connection problems. Like
Well, yeah, you're gonna
can't
have Wi-Fi
completely
connections,
rely
except
on the
in your
technology
brain.
that we're using today.
Like,
Yeah, it's
what
not lazy,
signals
it's
do you
just
think people?
faster.
What do you
Using
think? What signals do you
our
think that this
brain is much more
technology?
effective.
What signals do you
yeah,
think
and
this
like
technology is gonna use? Like, it's still gonna be Wi-Fi. You're still gonna have connection issues, but this time it could actually be
I
dangerous.
mean, I
Not
don't
just that,
know
but
about
putting
that
it
one.
in your brain in the first place is gonna be dangerous.
I mean, really, I don't know if you guys have heard of Google Glass, but it can really
Yes, I
do
have.
all of these things. I say that we should work on AR technology way before we do any of this because one, it has no risks, like of getting your actual thoughts hacked into, and two, it does all of these things, and I bet it could do more if we just started working on that instead of whatever the hell this is, honestly. Sounds like a bad idea.
It's any different or more dangerous than like a phone because you can also be influenced through your phone to do certain actions or to think
Yeah, but
And
at
certain
least you're
hacked.
ways.
still in at least you're still in control at that point. Like if somebody hacked into your
No,
actual
if someone
brain,
hacks you, then you're not in control over that. Like over that thing. Like if someone hacks you, they have control over you pretty much.
yeah, if the device is in your brain.
Well, same with like blackmail and
Oh,
everything.
same with
But you know,
um,
I think the seat of who we are, like the very source of who we are, is able to overcome the hack, so that we can gain control over ourselves again. Because that is how powerful we are. You know, like no amount of technology can stop your
I don't know
life
how
honestly,
force,
perfect you guys
honestly,
like
think
I
your
you
agree
guys
will.
are.
because if information is being transmitted into your brain, that's just information. It can't influence your physical action
It
anyway
can
unless it's
though.
connected to
That's
your
how our
neuro
brain
system
works.
or something like that. Well, it's not. Your brain
Our brain
just
takes
contains
information and
information.
transmits it into thoughts and ideas and actions. That's how the brain works.
Yeah,
So
Yeah,
if
and
we're
but
getting
transmits
that
information
it,
that
kind
but
of
like it
that kind of
can't
influence
God,
already happens.
influence
Like
your physical action. I mean,
no, like our brains and our motor controls are already influenced though by like electromagnetic signals and frequencies that are through the air from devices around the earth. And
that sounds like some conspiracy shit right there.
but we're still able to resist those to agree. I mean, other
yeah,
people
you
like
can.
they just fall into the flow. That's what it is. It's a flow. And that's like where culture comes from. Everybody kind of does the same thing at the same time.
So how
It's
is
because it's
having a
an influence.
beacon that receives these signals in our head going to solve the problem of us becoming sheeps? That makes no
Because
sense.
you have to think for yourself. Like there
Yeah, you
is
have to
like an
think for
absolute
yourself, so
part
why
of
would you have
yourself that's
something in your head that
touchable.
thinks for you?
It's not thinking for you. It's thinking
You're
with
making
you.
no
You
sense.
use this. No, you rather than letting it do all the work for you, you use it to do work.
Assuming that that's possible.
It is possible.
When is this technology coming out?
I Neuralink wants to put it out 4 or 10 years from now, like 5 to 6 years.
That's what
But
they said about reviving the woolly mammoth.
I believe,
So,
well, yeah, they just got a woolly mammoth emoji on the iPhone.
yeah.
I think that this type of neural chip is already existing in people, and they're like tests. They're like experimented. They're experiments, and they're being monitored. But I think that this technology has been around. It just hasn't been released publicly for consumers yet, because like it is a sensitive topic, and people are
Yeah.
worried about it. So
There's people that are worried about 5G signals putting on their fucking tinfoil hats already just because of that. You really think that they're gonna accept the idea of putting a chip that like literally micromanages our thoughts into people's heads?
Well, it's not like they accept it or not. It's more like people choose what they want. You see, some people are gonna disagree, and some people are gonna agree. It's just kind of how it is.
yeah,
Just don't know if it's
because
ethical.
not everybody is going to choose to get the surgery to get the computer. It's not like it's forced on us.
It
So
could
why
be
would
though.
someone want that?
It could be, yeah, like when you get a surgery at the hospital, they
That's
could
dangerous.
implant you with the chip.
That's
It just sounds
dangerous.
like a
All right, I have a
phone,
question.
essentially.
Will this type of technology be connected to your nervous system or cerebellum in any way? You know, what controls your actual physical bodily movements
That
or not?
can be created, but no, I don't think it's going to be connected to the cerebellum. So it can't shut down the heart. It can't stop your breathing. Um,
Exactly. So it's simply going to be information that you retain or send
Yeah,
to
but
other people via your
Yeah,
mind.
it's in
what's
the
to
It's
stop?
not going
neocortex.
What's
to
to stop?
influence your physical action in any way.
What's what's to stop some internet troll from sending you thoughts about killing yourself? Let's talk about that.
Well, you can
I
block
mean,
the
that's
connection.
possible. You can
The
block
voices in
it.
my heart are finally real.
It's kind of more like, let's say,
Exactly, like the voices in your head are actually gonna be a thing. That's
no, let's,
wild.
well, let's say kind of like an Instagram. Let's say you have a nice big page, right? And let's say that you do something by accident and you made someone mad, right? They send you a message like a threat saying to kill yourself, right? If it was in our brain, we could just like completely like just block that part, and we wouldn't even have to like go there or even deal with all that problem.
Right, and it's the
Honestly,
same
that's true.
as
You'll still be in control, like over
it's the
your
same
own
as
mind.
dealing with. And you're not going to kill yourself just because they told you. You're going to tell them to stop, and then you don't deal with them anymore. And it's the same thing. Essentially, you just block the connection.
If you can.
Yeah, I'm sure that there will be training on
Sure,
how
they're
to
gonna
use the
incorporate.
device.
This will never
Yeah.
work. That's all I'm gonna say. At least not in my lifetime.
Oh, look at how far technology has come. I believe that we as humans can make this work, transmit information even quicker than we do today. Like, it could be really
We don't
innovative
need that.
and creative.
Think how
We don't
useful that
need
will
it,
be.
but at the same time, it will be useful. I mean,
Getting lazier and
just
lazier
generally.
It's more like an upgrade.
It's not even about
at this point. You know, no, I'm not saying that.
laziness. It's about human innovation and creating new things. You can't just sit with the same all day.
Free up the time that it takes to communicate. Now you have that time to do other things. And the seconds add up over a lifetime. And those are valuable seconds.
I mean,
Let's
if
say I
it
want
That's
to
was
take.
true.
Let's say I want to take a
but I mean,
picture,
at what
and I
cost?
don't have a phone at my hand.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
seconds are precious.
You know?
Even mere seconds are precious, like in our lifetimes. So I think
Bro.
what we should do is create things to be as quick and
I think
precise
what
as
we should
possible.
do I think what we should do is focus on reverting back to humans instead of computer-controlled humans and
Fuck
news-controlled
that, bro. Let's go back
humans.
to
We're not going to
monkeys.
be computer controlled,
Brian,
though.
Yes,
Brian,
we
That's the
are. This
thing.
is what we're
We're
heading
just going to be
towards at this point.
connected.
Brian.
to-
What's
bro.
your opinion on this?
Bro, we're humans. If it ever gets that far, somebody's going to shut down the idea just like they do with actual science. Like, there
It's
are
gonna have
things that
gone
have
too
been
far, bro.
disproved.
I was
Dude,
gonna ask Brian.
what if this is exactly what artificial intelligence is waiting for? What if there's a super intelligence already created, and it's just been waiting for this to happen before it
I don't
breaks
believe
loose?
that's likely,
Super
bro.
intelligence does exist, and it can send packets of light to the past. So you can get information from the future if you tune into the sends information to the past is with tachyons, which are particles that move faster than light. Therefore, it goes back in time.
We're doomed.
That is interesting.
We're actually doomed. I
Brian.
already knew that, but like it's coming quicker than I thought. We are actually the worst species that has ever existed. We have
We're
all of
also
this
the best.
knowledge. We have all of this knowledge and all of this power, and yet this is what we come up with. The doom of our own species. That's crazy.
I think it's the evolution of our species.
To die. We evolved
No,
to
no,
die. That's
we
crazy.
evolved to become something else
We
that's
take
better
10
suited
steps.
to the
beings.
environment.
We take 10 steps forwards and then 100 back. It's crazy. We're sending ourselves back to the Stone Age, back to the primordial soup. We are going to be
How
nothing.
if we're creating technology, that would make no sense.
Brian.
Yeah, we're creating technology that's going to be our end. We're going to create something that's more powerful than us. And that's the only thing we rely on. That's the only thing we live off of. The fact
I
that
don't
we're the
believe
most
that's
intelligent
possible.
thing on this planet. That's
Jeremy's
the
living
only
off
reason
that
we're
fucking
alive.
Terminator ideology.
Actually, in a way, it is possible, but it's not likely that some super computer is going to be developed that can kill us all.
We will have to just wait and see
Like, I
how it
honestly
turns
doubt it.
Well,
out.
How
know?
likely is it that we get? How likely was it that we had phones that could process like extreme mathematical
Pretty
calculations,
likely, actually.
literally just sitting in our pocket? Like a
I
hundred years
mean,
ago, 100 years ago, there wasn't even calculators.
That's because
uh,
technology advances exponentially.
Uh-huh. So
it
to say
answers
that a super to
with
say that a
humans, bro.
supercomputer that to say that a computer that could take over the human race isn't likely is just faulty. That's uneducated, ignorant even. Because if technology is actually progressing this fast, then it's obvious that it could happen.
Why
Like
would a
it's
computer want to
Like,
take over
we're
though?
still humans when you really think about it. If there was some mad scientist who said, "Oh, let me develop this supercomputer,"
Doesn't
and
even
it would
have to be a
probably
mad
be shut down
scientist.
pretty quickly. Whoever it is who creates some technology like that,
It could just be
also
somebody
it
that's
would
looking to watch
probably
the
have to
world
be
burn.
Is a way
Which
to undo it, but again, consider the program of benevolence so that even if it is more powerful than us, it still wants to see us advance. It's not going to like kill us or use us for energy like it does in the Matrix.
exactly though.
I mean, like that reality is a possibility. And in fact, that might exist in one, but the reality that I'm going into is one where the computers and the humans work together for the advancement of each other's race. I mean, if the computer becomes its own race, then it would be artificial intelligence, it'd be its own species. And then, you know, some humans would become like a full robot. And they just want to exist as consciousness in the cloud.
I don't think like
this
robots
is not
are
an anime.
something
This
that
is
live
not
up.
a movie. That's not what's gonna happen, bro.
Oh,
It's not like they're gonna be like, oh, wow, thanks for giving us sentience. Now we're just gonna go be our own race. That's not how computers work. It's not like they're gonna have emotion.
and give
They're
things
just gonna have
sentience physically.
pure thought and mathematical calculation is what they'll be
All they're
based
gonna
off of.
have is
And
calculations and information.
as soon as they figure out that the planet that they live on is burning and dying at a rapid pace because of this one race, they're gonna be like, oh, yeah, let's get rid of these guys.
It's not
What's
how it works, bro.
and who's to
If it
say that
isn't in their programming to do that in the first place, then it can't be made into action.
that
We
that's
program
not
them.
that's
We are
not
the
the
programmers.
And there are ethics
bro.
and morals that go into
AI
programming too.
Yeah, what they
AI does
believe
not
in
need a
is gonna be
programmer.
controlled by us. Bro, what do you mean?
Like, think rather than just exterminating all the humans, it helps the humans
Why would it do that?
to save the planet, but also to benefit the human race.
That is true.
It's a bad idea.
Well, let's just say that everything has its risk, you know. It's optional. You don't have to do it. And that's like the thing that we can still do as humans. Still, we can still think, and you can make your choices. You know.
Well, for now.
Honestly, as long as that thing isn't connected to anything that influenced my physical action, like electromagnetic signals and my nervous
Your
system and all of
your
that, then I'm
your
going to be
thoughts
good.
your
Kind of like a
thoughts do
cyborg, you know.
influence your
That would be a
physical
different thing.
action.
No, they don't.
Yes,
I
they
mean,
do.
they can influence what you do, but you're doing that by yourself. Like,
For
you can do something because
nanoparticles.
somebody told you to, but that it will still be your fault.
Wait, okay, but what
Yeah,
if there
but
were
Like,
you
nanoparticles
still
already in
did
your
that
food?
thing that somebody told you to do because they convinced you to do it.
they convinced you because you were weak-minded,
Okay, and what do
not
you think
because they
what do you think
influenced your
most of the
physical action in
population
any way.
is? What do you think most
Are
of
you
the
serious,
population
bro?
is, bro? Like honestly. People are sheeps.
And
That's
the
a
They're
ruling
not
fact.
class
weak-minded. I mean, I don't
that
know, bro.
controls all the media and that controls the information that you get.
And we're weak-minded. We have control over
No,
technology right
we're not
now.
weak minded. We're so strong minded.
Some of us.
No, I was asking it like a question. We have control over our own technology as of right now, and I believe we will for a very long
So
time,
if
as
we
long
have
as
good
we don't do
control
stupid
over if we have good control over our technology right now, then why not just keep it that way? What's the purpose of moving any further?
for the advancement of the human race and technology itself.
Yeah, to
Well,
make
what we
it
Learn
need
better.
to
more
focus
about
on
our
what we
own
need to focus
selves
on
and
is not
brains and how they
invent
work.
what we need to focus on is not advancing, but getting everybody on the planet, every human, to the point that everybody else is at, to our highest point that we're already at. If we've reached such a high point already, then why isn't everybody like that? You say the
In a
human
way,
race.
everyone is, bro.
You say that
Everyone is already connected to
you say that we
technology.
need to do this to
Way.
advance the
Well, not
human
everyone, but
race, but this would really just be advancing some of us among the elite.
Yeah,
mm,
there are bigger problems
Well,
on
you
Earth
don't
than
have
having
Technology
to
to.
would
fucking deal with like
spread.
a brain
Let
chip or
Philip
whatever.
speak. Let Philip talk.
And it's
Okay.
What'd you
like,
say?
dude, we have people like fucking starving, like people without homes, and like the fact that we're
that
having a
is
brain
true.
chip is like that's not gonna help anything. That's just gonna make
People
it worse
without
because
the
that's gonna make us
basic
more fucking on ourselves and on other people.
That is true, but that's a whole different problem, and that's not really connected to this in any
Yeah,
way.
but that's
This
a
is
bigger
about
problem than advancing any further. Why would we need to advance when we're already so far behind?
how are we far behind? How? Explain to me.
There's people deprived of the basic necessities for having life, and yet we're trying to create artificial life. Why would we
Do you
want to
believe
do
that's
that?
mostly caused because of religious and like
Politics and stuff.
shit like
So
honestly?
we should focus on trying to sort out
That's
our
why we have a
differences.
military and we send people out to Afghanistan to fight, bro. We're
We
doing
can
that
focus
right
on
now
two
as we're
things at
advancing
once.
technology. We
Yeah, but
can
is that
do
a long-term
multiple,
That
solution?
can't
solve multiple
that
problems.
Should one nation really rule the world? It's another question.
What?
Wait,
It's
what?
just gonna be America, bro. Or bigger,
Yeah, I
bro.
mean, like, what if the world becomes one species and then it's self ruling? And then we go to like other worlds that are also self ruling. And then at that point, each world with its constituent population, which are like micro pieces of the bigger picture, interact with each other. And then it's like, you have different kinds again, but it's just on a much larger scale.
You gotta think of all the possible things that you can do. You know,
You have to think of
open
this
mind.
on a global scale, like how effective we will be as a species if we do advance technology, and how much we'll learn about ourselves and the technology itself,
We're
how
already
it
so
works.
effective at keeping ourselves alive, though. Like,
I wouldn't say that at all.
I mean, a lot of us,
I
yeah,
would
we're
not say
dumb.
that at all.
A lot of people are stupid, and that's a fact. But
Bro,
that doesn't, we don't need any more technology. We don't. We've already got stuff that shouldn't even exist. I mean, that's a whole nother question. Atomic
Well,
bombs,
that's
those have been around for like 60, 70 years. Something crazy. That
okay.
shouldn't
What's
be
Technology
a
ooh,
thing.
helps people learn and it helps people get access to knowledge and it helps them complete tasks better than they used to, better than their past. And
But we can already
technology is
do that so
smart.
efficiently with our current technology.
Yes, but
Why would we
imagine that
need
you
any
can do
more?
it. Imagine you can do it even
it's been
better. And then the
advancing for
quality of
years.
life
Why would we
is
just
even
stop
better.
it now? What's the point?
Because it's
We should
already
just keep
powerful enough.
advancing.
It does everything that we needed to do.
Enough according to who? There are people who
Me.
aren't satisfied with the way things are and they
Exactly.
recognize
And
that the
those are the
future is
people that will
better.
be the doom of our species.
No, they're here to bring the people who want to go into the future to the future.
I mean, what
yes, it's
about
an
the people that
advance.
can't go into the future?
The future
Because they
is where
have
the new
fucking
We're
technology
handling
is.
that right now. We are dealing with that.
Dealing with
There are
what?
people who have donated and like, did you see that stream of Corey Kenshin on YouTube?
Oh
Raised
my
like
god.
$3 million for starving children or some shit like that. Like, and he's just a YouTuber,
And that's
really,
barely a dent.
just a person.
What do you
So
mean,
why
And
are
David?
we
we're
funding why are we funding this technology that we don't need instead of something that we do need.
We could use that
We
technology.
are funding, bro. We are
Funding
Yeah, but
both.
funding for things.
why is it
We're
even
funding for
a
both.
funded thing when that money could go towards this? Why would you
Why
do
though?
multiple things at once, bro? Like, oh my
To
God,
advance
like
even more, like
like a
on a wider scale. Why would you just do one thing instead of
Maybe
doing
they
a
use this
lot of other
technology
things
to
that
help
could be
those people that
beneficial
don't
for
have.
yourself?
okay. Imagine this. Imagine this. Imagine you have a plant that was watered yesterday, but it's supposed to be watered every day, and you have an orphanage that is on fire. Where are you gonna put the water?
I have
Exactly.
no idea what you're referring to, bro.
When there is
No,
enough
you're.
water,
That's a
and we've
great analogy.
planned because of technology to have excess of water for emergencies like that. So you're not going to run out of water for your plant or the orphanage
I'm
because
not
we've
asking
Maybe
that.
that's why
advanced.
there's goddamn
Oh my God, I'm not.
firefighters.
Oh my God, I'm not
What
asking
do
that
you
as a
mean?
literal question. That was an analogy.
No, who calls those firefighters? King phones, bro. Things we're in control over right now.
Y'all are not
An
understanding.
automatic
Advance
signal
that we can be
that
even
sends a
better than that.
self-driving car. So an automatic signal that alerts a self-driving firefighting car to go to the scene of the fire, which is
Yeah,
so much faster
immediately.
than going to
Like
find
that
a
would
phone.
be way better.
Did you
Honestly,
guys
like
literally not understand what my analogy was alluding to, like at all? Did you just choose not
yes,
to hear
I
that?
understood it, but
Okay, what
that
was it? What
makes
was it
no
referencing? What was it
sense.
referencing? What was it referencing?
Said you have a plant that was supposed to be watered yesterday or some shit like that, but you need to
Okay, you
water
heard what I
today.
said, but what is that referring to?
What do you mean? What is it referring to, bro?
Exactly. I was putting that up as an example. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna water the plant and just
Oh,
watch
you
all
were
those
referring
kids
to
die?
how like
Or are you
people are
going,
worried about the wrong problems or some shit,
yes, Jeremy.
but we're not. We're not. We're
Like, think
worrying
about
about
this.
both
That water,
problems, which is
that
why we
water, that
call
water.
a firefighter and water your
Dear
goddamn
God,
plants.
dear God, you're
Bro,
not
like
understanding.
what do you mean?
The
You can
money,
worry about two
the
things at
water,
once.
the water was referencing the money that we are putting towards this new technology.
Okay.
And then the plant was representing the technology. And the orphanage was representing starvation, global warming, etc. So why would we give any of that water to the plant and not all of it towards putting out this fire that's killing innocent children in an orphanage?
You do know global warming is like something on a global scale that humans barely have control over as of right now,
Yeah,
which
We
is
you
are
have
the
to
exactly
main
do.
why
contributors.
Plants
which is
make
exactly
oxygen.
why
Also,
we have
figure
control
out
over it, but
how to
even if we
create the
stop, there's still
technology
going to be
on a
global warming,
budget.
which is why we need to fix it. Can't
Yeah,
just stop
exactly. We
doing
all
it. That's
agree
not
we
what's
need
going to fix it.
exactly. We agree that we do need to fix it. Yeah. You're not understanding what I'm saying. If we
Yeah,
have
we
these
need
funds
to
that we are
fix it.
putting towards new technology, then why would we be putting any of that money towards that technology and just not putting it towards stopping global warming or fixing people that
No
are in
amount of
bad situations
money
where they don't have any
can
water
simply
that they can
stop
drink?
Can
global
do both.
warming.
It's like
It can help.
you're not gonna go to the
Yeah,
store and
sure, you
buy
can do
only
both, but you
eggs.
can do
You're not
one
gonna go to
thing
the store
better.
and buy only eggs for yourself. You're gonna buy all of the foods that you need to maintain a healthy lifestyle. You're not gonna buy only one thing. You're gonna buy everything that you need that you have money for.
Exactly. You don't just
That's why you
buy one
budget.
thing and
Okay,
buy it
well, are you
over
gonna...
and over and over again simply because you're comfortable with it. It's not really what you
What?
do.
You guys are not... Okay. You're going to the... Here, let's use the store
Buy
analogy, right?
multiple
You're going to the...
things and
Let's just use the
innovate.
store analogy.
And
Let's
you're
do the
also
store
gonna buy
analogy, okay?
clothes,
You go to the
not just
store,
food.
you're shopping for food, right? You know that some things are way better for you and way more efficient at keeping you alive and giving you
But
nutrients and sustaining you, right?
here, Charles,
But
Charles, Charles.
yeah, shh, I'm talking.
Okay.
And you go and you buy Doritos, right? Well, you could have gone and you could have bought vegetables, you could have bought juice, you could have bought vitamins, because you know that that's more efficient, at keeping you alive. But let's say that those Doritos is the technology that we're funding. We don't need that technology right now. We've already established that.
What if you
And
take all the funds you have and buy both?
Wait, fish stocks. What up?
That's what we're saying.
yeah, but you could buy more of the healthy stuff if you didn't buy the unhealthy stuff.
You can make the comparison of unhealthy stuff to technology, which is designed to benefit us. Like it's
It
literally
really wouldn't be
No,
created
it's
to make
unhealthy.
us
It would
better.
be the opposite. It would be healthy.
That's debatable that it's designed to benefit us.
Oh, it's like buying a superfood. Like this technology is buying the stuff that's going to make you so healthy that you never get sick. Ever. It literally, like, it could probably even affect your immune system. You know, like way far off into the future. It can make it more resistant to bugs and stuff like that, more efficient at developing white blood cells. And more
It
tolerant
could.
to toxins. But we're also going to be reducing the amount of toxins because we work on multiple problems at once. So we're not just focused on one thing because we have the money.
But
Money
we
is
should be
so
focused
bountiful.
on the biggest problem. Why would we be
Electronics.
focused on littler things when we could focus on one
If we
big thing
focus
that is more
on one
important?
thing for so long, what about all
Then it'll
the
get
other
fixed
shit that we need?
eventually. Like, we're gonna
It'll
Alright.
get
fix it
fixed,
eventually.
but by that time, what's gonna happen? There's gonna be a million other different problems that have already developed, and the problems that are already there are gonna get even worse. Which is why we deal with multiple things at one time. We have to be productive, like
I still don't
as
see
productive as we
you
can.
still haven't given me a reason why we need to be working on this technology rather than
People
stuff
who
that
are
is way more important.
specialized in technology and they're
Oh,
interested in the technology, so they want to work on it. They aren't that good at working on food or the environment, so they work on something that they're good at. They do what they're good at, and they make the most of resources that they have available, and that's where the big
then other
breakthroughs
people
come
do
through.
other things,
Right.
like working on global warming and like that. This is just
One
science, bro. Like this is
one could
simply just
definitely make
science.
the one could definitely make the argument that people are better at doing certain things. Like certain people are better at working on neurological things, like this technology is in need of. But they could definitely also help out with global warming if they're that smart. Like, come on. It's not like, sure, it's not what they want to be doing. Sure, it's not their forte, but they can do the other things that they don't want to do as like a hobby. Or, I mean,
Why would you
sorry, the
force
things that
somebody
they
to
do
do
want to
something
do.
that they do not enjoy doing or do not wish to do?
And why would
They
they do that
only
when somebody is better at doing it than them?
exactly. There's other people designed for things. You don't send a policeman out to Afghanistan to fight with military personnel.
But he
Like,
could.
uh,
Well, we could take the
Uh-huh.
tip
it's
too.
debatable.
You know, we
That's
could,
debatable.
or we could not. It's all optional. You know.
We
Think of the
could what,
benefit.
Steve?
Think of the benefits of, let's say, let's say kidnap people that steal from you or thieves, right? And you need them instantly, and you don't have a phone next to you, and you're trying to call them, right? You need the cops to come and help because there's someone stealing you, and someone has a gun pointed at your face. How would you do this and call the police if you don't have a phone because they can shoot you? What if you had this chip and you think about it and say call the
Exactly.
cops,
Just think, call 911.
without speaking?
Then it's gonna be on its way. And
Yeah,
plus, you
but
don't even
who
have to speak. If you're in the middle of a bank robbery, you have that shit in your head. No one can see.
do you really
Like
think
that's
that
very
everybody's gonna
effective.
have this technology? No. What about
Only
the
I
some
people
mean,
that are
people.
that's why they're
literally
trying to make it
starving,
more
deprived of the most
accessible and
basic
more.
needs? God.
That's why there's people who deal with that, bro.
It's
What do
gonna
you
be
mean?
it's gonna be expensive, of course, but think
How
about it
do we
like
know that they're dealing with it if it's still a problem? It's
think about
What do you
like
going too
mean? What do you
slow.
mean?
It's not
How?
I
happening
think
fast
My
that's
enough.
God.
politics, not technology. That's a political problem, not a technological problem.
Exactly.
And politics are way more important than technology. We need to get
Are you
our shit sorted
serious?
out. We need to
because
we
technology
need
Think
to get our
costs.
shit together
politics.
as a race before we start advancing.
Yo,
What
Jeremiah,
you're
chill,
saying
dude.
is we need to teach people empathy and kindness and respect and love for one another. And
Exactly. That's way more
technology
fucking
can do that.
important.
Technology can do
Technology
that, but also I
can do
think we
that
do need
just
to
as well.
approach it
Like,
from a human level, you know, because that's something that comes from like the heart or the soul or whatever, and just a general concern for the well-being.
A lot of people lack that.
Well, that's actually that has to do with health.
Yes, a lot of people lack technology, which is
No, a
why
lot
there are
of
people
people lack
dealing with that.
empathy. A lot of people lack basic human
Yeah,
emotions.
that is true, and that's why those people are probably not going to be working on projects like that.
No, that's the thing. They are. Those are the
Mm.
people that are controlling the world currently.
So why do you
People
even
in
use a
power
phone? How
who
do
care a
you know
great
that
deal
that's
about
finding
humans.
Charles? Think about it.
Exactly.
If you're so worried about objective, how do you know that you find every single day on your phones, your computers, any single medium that you have online?
Because I know that I can smash my phone over my fucking knee if I need to. I can't smash my head open. I'll die.
That's Charles. You can use
There is
blood.
a surgery to get it removed.
You can take it out.
Yeah, but who's
You
to
can
say
take
they're
it off
actually gonna
if you
take
want
it?
to.
Who's to say that
Jeremiah, you
you
gotta
can't
calm
just
down a
take
little bit.
something
Hey,
out
hey,
of your head? What?
Yeah, you can. They've already
What do you mean
demonstrated
you
that you
can?
can.
Look
You can
at the
literally
picture.
do brain surgery, bro. Like, if that's possible, then I
So I have to
believe
go
taking
get
a chip
brain
out of
surgery
somebody's
if
head.
I... This is just like having to
I'm
get
not
brain
saying
surgery
you
to
have
turn
to
your
get
phone off.
Well, people do have
But the
risky
powers are
surgeries.
probably gonna have like
Like
a power button for it anyways, which is gonna be like easy. Like
Probably,
if you
probably gonna have
literally
a
you'll
button.
probably just
Like
be able
it's
to think
probably gonna be
turn it
easy.
off,
Like you're
then it'll turn
probably,
off.
like
Like,
probably going to be able to do this. You don't know.
yeah, we don't know yet. Still innovating,
Exactly.
bro.
it's
We're
the thing.
learning more
It's
But
about
what
this.
we do know, right now is that there's people that are starving that need our help. We know that there
We're
is
helping
global
them.
warming.
We are
We know that
helping
we
them
are
right
going
now.
extinct. We know that we are overpopulated. We
We
know that we lack resources.
we know that we
We
lack
know
the
that a lot of
sophisticated
people
technology that we deserve.
We know that a lot of people's quality of life is so shitty that they decide to kill themselves. How about we focus on that first? Other
we
than
are
this
Focus on
focusing on
technology
that
everything.
right
that is
now.
so
We are
unneeded.
focusing on multiple things at once. How is it productive to
But
only
why
think
would we
about those
focus on multiple
children
things when we
right
can
now
focus
when
on
this
one
down,
thing
calm
at a
down, calm down.
time and
very
get it done better?
extensive problem? Don't
We don't necessarily get it done better. We have the resources and the knowledge to do everything at once.
Do
exactly.
we?
So why don't we use it?
Well, if we have
Why
the
wouldn't we
resources
use it?
and the knowledge to do everything at once, then why hasn't it been done? That's a good question.
Because we're still
It's
working on
yeah,
it, and
it's
that's why we
getting
need
done.
to advance
You know,
technology
we're
so
It's
still
a
that these
working on
process.
it.
problems can be like wiped out
Why
as
are we
soon as
still working
possible.
on it? It's because we haven't directed enough attention to it. This should have
Everything needs
ended
Ooh,
attention.
20, 30,
isn't
50
true.
years ago.
Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that we don't care, like genuinely just don't care about the starving kids and
No,
all of
we
that
don't.
shit?
Not everybody doesn't care, but there's not enough people that care enough. Or it would be done. It would be done with, over with, gone. Don't you understand what I'm saying?
Honestly, we can't force people to care either.
No, we
So,
can't. And that's a problem, the fact that we even have to think about forcing people to have empathy.
I mean, that's a problem on a personal like level. Has nothing to do
Uh-huh.
with technology.
Right, because
Or
politics
like,
literally
I
just
mean,
means relations. So
there's
if you want good politics, then at the base of it, you have to have the health, the concern for the well-being and not taking advantage of somebody else for your own benefit. But it's to see the entirety succeed as well as you, and then to go beyond that. And that is what the benevolence of the computer, the supercomputer, is going to do. It's not going to not care about us. It's going to do everything that it can at its current capability to bring us to the next level of comfortable living. And we will be able to say, oh, this is much better than how we were living back then. Look at how much more we can do. Look at how much more we have access to. And of course, problems are still going to arise in that new society, but then you have people
exactly.
to solve those problems. And that's the advancement of technology. It's problem solving.
We really are doomed.
No, Charles,
It's your only response, bro.
we're
Swag.
not doomed.
We were
If
destined
that was
to
the case,
fail.
then we can be doomed at any time right now. A nuke can be launched in the United States at any time, and then we're all done. Done. If
But
that's the case.
can't you see the fact that that nuke exists is a
That's
problem?
actually, I mean, that's like not really that true. You do
Yes, it is.
have counter airstrike measures and things like that that the military has developed
Oh, well,
specifically
Jeremy,
for
what are they gonna
catastrophic
do?
events like
Somebody
that.
sends a nuke our way, right? We're gonna send another nuke at it. Do you know how bad that explosion is gonna be? Do you know how much that's
I
gonna fuck up
mean,
our
yeah,
atmosphere? You know
Like,
how much
like the Russian nukes. I mean,
nuclear winter will follow these explosions? You know how
So
quick we're fucked?
we invented it, but we have control over it so that it doesn't
No,
get
we
out of hand.
don't.
Yeah, we do. If we didn't, then the people who don't like us would have killed us already.
It's
it is
coming.
true.
You know it's coming.
That's why
Then
there's something developed called counterterrorism and
defense,
insurgency, which is meant to disarm things like giant nukes and bombs,
And I
like
mean,
in
you can
other
think like
places.
that,
and
but
what
you're
that
never
is looking into
100%
the
safe from
future.
these things. They cannot stop a nuke.
But we could develop something that could stop a nuke without
So why
creating
aren't we
intense
working on
pollution.
That's why we need to advance
the
technology so that we can
fact that
create something
the fact
to
that we need to
counter,
create the fact that we need to create a technology to stop a technology is definitely a problem.
to
Can
stop
we
a
agree on
No,
that?
it's
technology
not.
created by someone
Oh my
worse
god.
than us
Oh my
with no
god.
empathy.
look,
That's why we
back
need
in
to
the
do that.
1960s, John F. Kennedy, he was the one that started that project of anti-nuclear stuff. So it's been going on for quite a while. You know, as time
Actually,
progresses, the nukes become stronger and difficult to take down. So that's why they have different. They do research. You know, it's not like they haven't.
That's why we're funding it, bro.
Yeah, that's where all those
That doesn't
So
funds
that
answer
we
go.
my
can
question at
prevent those
all.
problems. What is your question?
My question was, can't you see that it's a problem that we need to develop technology to destroy a technology that we created that is trying to cause us harm?
Yeah, it obviously is a problem, but we're not the ones who created that technology that wants to end
I
us.
think it's not a problem at all.
We
Think
as
about natural
humans are,
hazards.
but like specifically us, like as in like people with actual empathy and a fucking brain, like we need to stop this. Dude,
But there's
it
not
is a
enough of
problem.
us. There's over 7 billion people. How many people do you think actually have these emotions and like actual brain activity?
No, it's not a problem because when you get sick, what do? You go see a doctor and you get medicine or you do some exercise. Or let's say you ingest something poisonous.
Not everybody has a doctor even.
But there are actually mental things that you can do to control your own body to regulate your own immune system because the body
Who
and the
does
mind is that
that?
powerful. People who want to live, who don't have access to a doctor with that knowledge, if they're like
So you
spiritually grounded,
I'm
they
done.
can't achieve health.
I'm dead. I'm actually dead.
No, if you believe in the power of the brain, just see what it can
I'm
do for you.
dead. So you're saying these people that are sick and dying in third world countries, they just need to think, "Oh, I don't want to die, and everything's gonna be fine." That's crazy. That's crazy. I
It's
don't even know why I'm
not
here.
what
Yes.
I
she
don't even know.
just said. If
You
you
That's
would have
crazy.
listened to
That's
her,
actually
you would have
crazy.
understood.
you
That
can
is
heal yourself.
genius. That is
Of
You're
a
brilliant.
not
sickness.
listening, bro.
200 IQ among the
Yo,
elite.
Jeremiah, you gotta calm your shit
You're a
down,
bit
dude.
stubborn, bro.
And what
You're
if
being stubborn.
I'm not gonna lie,
what if
you're
those
quite
people
stubborn.
are being told repeatedly that their sickness is beyond cure? Then they have this mental thought that isn't
You
even
have to
theirs
open your mind.
that they can't heal themselves. But if they're told, like, hey, listen, you have
I'm
the
surrounded
power
by
within you to heal yourself, then they can achieve that kind of health. And once they're not even sick anymore, then they can go on to developing their sciences to help other people and to educate them.
Anyways, should we proceed with the next topic, or you want to still?
new topic,
What is the
please.
Yeah,
next
we can
topic?
go to the next topic.
Okay. So let's
Thank
continue with the
fuck.
next one. Dr. Poo Poo, do you have anything to say?
Freaking-
No.
Y'all want to see me stick my fingers up my ass?
No. Okay, let's talk about
Bruh.
um Jeremy, you know about Star Wars, right? A lot about Star
Bit.
Wars.
I've been studying.
So tell me about Force Unleashed. Like, what is about the premise of Force Unleashed?
Basically, The Force Unleashed is about a story following a Jedi by the name of Galen Marek, or I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce it, but I think it's something like that. But it basically follows this Jedi, right? Was born very sensitive to the Force, and under another Jedi who was, I guess, um, murdered by Darth Vader, right in front of Galen. So after that, Galen actually trains under Darth Vader and eventually rebels, joins the rebellion, since he did kill his fucking dad. But basically he joins the rebellion, and after that he does a lot of crazy stuff. I forgot a lot about the series, honestly. But
Wait, is this
some of
canonically
his
happening?
well, at one point it was canon and approved by George Lucas himself, but after Disney claimed the rights to Star Wars, they claimed that all of the video games and things like that were not canon.
Uh,
So in a way it is and isn't canon.
so this takes
Um
place like on what period of time of the movie trilogy? I mean the Star Wars movie.
it's in forgot, hold on.
Episode 5 or 6, maybe. You said Darth Vader, so it's during that period, I would say. Kind of like how they did with Han Solo.
Around that period, yeah. I think it's uh check just to make sure. Uh, takes place between the films Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope,
Ah, okay.
that time.
So that's before Luke Skywalker stuff. Pretty good. Pretty interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
So Brian, have you ever played that game? Force Unleashed?
Oh, not at all, not at all.
I
Damn.
play Squadrons, I know that. I think I heard of Force Unleashed, like, I think my dad has that game in a disc or something.
Honestly,
If I could
my
do a
opinion,
flip, it's pretty fun,
uh
from what I've seen.
yeah, it is a really fun game. I've played The Force Unleashed 2. I really need to get the first one and play it. But in my opinion, Galen Marek has to be one of the strongest like characters in Star Wars just generally. Like he's done a lot of feats such as I believe trick Darth Vader himself into killing one of his clones or something like that. He slayed, well, not exactly slayed, but fought, which is a giant beast. He also took down an entire destroyer using nothing but the Force, which was really badass. Actually, I'll send that GIF later. But he's a very strong Jedi. Like he's extremely strong.
But Jeremy,
I wish he was canon.
but
It really
Jeremy,
should be.
Yeah.
did you ever
Oh, I
heard,
see.
did you ever heard of the tragedy of Dark Plague the Wise?
Yo, shut the fuck up, dude.
Oh my god.
Bro.
Well,
Tragedy of what
it's
now?
really not a story a Jedi would tell you. It's actually a Sith legend.
Wow.
Sith
Dark
legend.
Plague is like the Dark Lord of the Sith. He was so powerful and wise. He could use the Force to influence.
See, if you're reading off of the damn script, I know it. I
What
know
could he
it.
use the Force to do now?
He could use the Force to influence the midichlorians to create life. He had such knowledge of the dark side that he could even keep the ones he cared about from dying. I know, right?
Once he cared.
So he
That
could actually
is
like
crazy.
very
he could actually like
powerful.
revive people, kind of like that Naruto jutsu.
But I'm
Then
talking about strength-wise. Alan Mayrek is one of the strongest characters, if not the strongest, honestly. Like I've seen a lot of feats performed by. He knew both like light side and dark side of the Force, which was really amazing. My opinion. He knew like Force Lightning, Jedi Mind Trick, knew everything pretty much. But that Dark Plagueis guy sounds pretty scary.
oh yeah, he also died unfortunately. I saw a good Jedi die. I mean,
Oh,
Sith. He died, and you know why he died? He was too trusting. He was too trusting to his how could I call it? You know, his
Apprentice.
yeah, his apprentice.
the Apprentice. Oh,
Yeah. So he died by his apprentice, unfortunately. I
Dark
mean,
Plagueis able to teach anybody what he knew about revival?
not that I know of, not according to the comic.
Darth Sidious.
I mean, I guess Dark Sidious. I guess that's how he used it to go from
If I'm not
episode 6 to
mistaken,
9.
if I'm not mistaken, he was the apprentice, correct?
Yes, he was apprentice, but I don't know if Dark Plagueis actually thought anyone about the
Yeah, and
reviving
he
jutsu.
killed Darth
I mean,
he killed Darth Plagueis after he learned the secrets of immortality and such.
I guess, yeah. So that's probably how Darcy
I mean,
survived episode 6. Who knows?
I would assume so, yeah.
It will always be a mystery. Unless they make something like unless they make like some comic or something that fills that gap.
And you mentioned Naruto. Orochimaru did a lot of like unethical science experiments to learn about immortality.
Oh yeah, that's
yeah,
correct.
sure.
He did. He did some really bad stuff, but
Literally, the
it helped though.
only thing Orochimaru truly sought after was knowledge, just generally knowledge, and he wanted knowledge of everything. If that meant killing and doing all of the bad things that he did, then he'd do it, which is kind of like a flawed personality thing for him. When looked at a certain way, that's also a bit opinionated. I'm sorry about that, but still, like in a way, like it's kind of like confusing almost.
I mean,
Like to really think someone could go that far simply for the extent of knowledge. But yeah, go ahead, Steve.
yeah, I mean,
S-
Orochimaru was like one of the villains that I always thought he was like the worst and the most strongest villain of Naruto, like the OG Naruto. You know, I always thought he
Yeah,
was gonna be like the most crazy badass villain. And once he got into Shippuden, I kind of realized that it was kind of like, you know, nah, not so
yeah,
true.
he was literally nothing compared to all the other guys like Pain and Madara. Oh
Oh
my
man,
god.
once I saw Pain,
Third
I was like,
Raikage?
yeah, Orochimaru was like nothing.
Third Raikage supposedly took on, I believe it was like, hold on.
Oh, it's raining outside. It's raining a lot.
Let me try and find it.
So yeah, Naruto, pretty fun actually. So I want to give you,
Yeah.
while you find the picture, I'm gonna do a little review on Megami Tensei 3. If you know about that, that's Nocturne. So I mentioned it, there's like on episode 2, I believe it was, that it was coming to the Switch, and it is. It's coming next year, I believe. And yes, it is already out on PlayStation 4 in the Japanese version. So yeah, this game is actually a good game, like really good. It goes into really good in-depth storylines, and it's like it kind of gives you like choices. That's kind of like how maybe every Atlas game is about choices and making the right choice. So I don't want to spoil Megami Tensei 3 because that one is such an debatable thing. People can see as something good or as something demonic. But I would say that definitely check it out if it comes out. Just play the experience.
Probably check it out.
So, Jeremy, do you find the picture?
Picture.
Yeah.
Wait, of what?
Oh, wait. What picture? Never mind.
The third Raikage thing?
Yeah. Something you were saying
Oh,
about Naruto.
okay.
Naruto.
Yeah. Supposedly, the third Raikage got thousands of shinobi alone for 3 days and 3 nights until the shinobi of his village were away to safety. So this guy took on, I think it was specifically 1,000 or 10,000 shinobi, somewhere between there. And like when you compare that to Orochimaru, like minor scaled villains, it's like thing. Honestly, the third Raikage wasn't even really a villain. It was just
I
under the
misunderstood, man.
influence of Edo Tensei. And when he was reanimated and brought back to life, was controlled by, I believe, Kabuto or someone who did the Edo Tensei. So yeah, and that's like, I believe he also just absolutely tanked Rasen Shuriken from Naruto. Just got back up and he was fine after that. Which
Ah,
is, by the way, a wind release jutsu, which is better than lightning release, which is like lightning chakra mode was the state he was in at that time. Wind is still superior to lightning, yet he's still fine after a blow from an S ranked wind release Rasen Shuriken. That was really crazy, honestly.
So how is a Raikage different than a Hokage?
So a Raikage is there's different terms for each village. The leader of the Leaf Village is the Hokage, which means I guess leaf shadow. You have the wind, well, the land of wind or hidden sand village, which is the Kaze Kage. Kaze means wind. Then you have the Raikage. Rai or Raitone in Japanese means lightning. So was the leader of the lightning village. That's pretty much all that is though.
Oh, that's awesome.
Difference, I mean
Pretty
the
cool.
difference is like that, I guess one uses more lightning and one uses, I guess, like fire or something like that. I don't know. Mostly the Hokage usually has access to all types of different releases. So yeah, Hokage is like the most diverse like type of shinobi, pretty much. Yeah. Great. What was the next topic we were gonna go over?
what, Jeremy? Sorry, I was eating something. I was taking a small
Oh,
snack.
lagged out for a second there. I don't know.
Oh,
Now we would like to take a commercial break to thank our sponsors, Honey. Alright, so in conclusion, you are welcome for a very informative and interesting, and I would even say entertaining episode of the Impractical Podcast. Please tune in for episode 5 and any bloopers that we may post in the future. And until next time, to be continued!
Yeah. Yo, everyone, let's go to the A Plus
Yeah,
podcast now.
can we stop now? Can we turn this bitch ass podcast off?
okay, then.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you heard the arguing, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
That was awesome.